Yeah, Lego Batman overall, I'd say I give it about a 7 out of 10. Um, there's some very good points, some very high highs, um, and then just some very just glaring issues that I had with it. Um, Good things about it. I'll start off with those. The graphics was one of the first things I noticed. It's an actual like beautiful game. Like it's one of those things where if they didn't intentionally make things look like Legos, you wouldn't be able to tell. And in many of like places like the architecture of Gotham, you can't tell until you're like right up on it, and then you happen to see the top of a stud or something like that. Like it's the game is beautiful. Uh, Music is amazing, especially if you don't play it in streamer mode. It's even better. You know, certain points you have to turn on streamer mode if you're trying to do what I'm doing because you will get that copyright claim, as I found out the hard way. But still, even with streamer mode on, the music is very good. Um, Lots of nostalgia throughout, lots of callbacks. Grey Ghost gets some love. Every movie gets love. Every era, even the '66 cartoon, or not cartoon, '66 TV show, and then the cartoon animated series especially gets a lot of love as well. And overall, like, those things are done really well. Um, the game starts in the prologue section. You play as young Bruce, and you they go through crime alley. You see his parents, a Lego version of his parents getting murdered and stuff like that. And it's all done very well. And then it jumps to adult Bruce, and you go through and are trained by Ra's al Ghul, and it's all very much like the Batman Begins storyline, and it's done very well. Like I said, the prologue is very good. You train with Talia, and it's a very good training session, like tutorial. For as far as like tutorials go, like that's it's a very good way of doing it. Like it tells a story while also being engaging, while not being too annoying with the do this, go there. This is how you dodge. This is how you counter. Like it just kind of it lets you go through it fairly quickly and still being enjoyable with lots of the Lego humor that I love the Lego humor. It's goofy, it's silly, but I can't get enough. It had me cracking up the whole time. And then you go through the first three chapters of the game are phenomenal. Batman is treated well. His partners treat him well. The story moves at a good place. You go through Batman Begins and the Batman in like the first chapter. The second chapter is with more Batman Returns. Catwoman comes to join you. First chapter it's with Gordon. Second chapter is with Catwoman. And then in the third chapter, it's Batman Forever, and Robin comes to join you as your partner in that one. And those three chapters in the prologue are excellent, excellent. Though like, if the game ended there, probably at least an 8, maybe even 9 out of 10, depending on how I'm feeling. Excellent. Then we get to chapter 4, and chapter 4 is the animated series chapter, which have added a level of annoyance to me because it's my favorite version of Batman. In my opinion, the best version, aside from the actual comic books, certain versions of the comic books. Um, but uh, in chapter 4, Batgirl becomes a partner, and this is the first chapter where Batman basically becomes irrelevant. Like Batgirl is shown to be, without having been trained by Batman, she's just as good at fighting. She can counter and dash across the room and do everything Batman can do. But then she's also, you know, reinventing his tech, reinventing Lucius's tech. She's, designing and engineering, doing all these things before becoming Oracle as Batgirl and her first night as Batgirl. And she's shown to be a better detective, a better scientist, a better engineer, a better martial artist, a better leader, a better everything than Batman. And it's just constantly throughout chapter 4, that's all you see is this girl bossing, Batgirl bossing throughout. And, there's, a scene where like Batman can't figure something out on the Bat computer. Batgirl steps in and fucking uses the thing. It's like he's never seen it used before. It's like 'cause she was the first one to do it. And like it's just a whole like oh, she's so much better than him. It's amazing. Why do we even need Batman? And then it just felt like a big slap in the face and an insult to Batman. And like he's shown to be much less competent, basically incompetent throughout this chapter, so that they can make Batgirl shine even more. Which it just kept happening, and the entire chapter is it just dragged down the entire game so much. Then chapter five comes on. Chapter five is okay. Nightwing becomes a partner in this one for about half of it, and then in the second half, Talia comes back and she is your partner, and it's fine. Talia doesn't really girl boss. She has a pretty cool teleport ability, and it's one of those things like, shouldn't Batman be able to do this too? Because you guys have the same training and everything. But for game mechanics and everything, we'll say lore wise he can do it. He just doesn't. But chapter five was fine, but then it ends at the end of chapter five. Is the encounter with Bane from uh, the Dark Knight Rises, where he Bane breaks his back and tosses him down the sewer. In the movie, obviously, we get to see Bruce's recovery and return to Gotham. In the game, instead, after Bruce is thrown in the sewer, we don't see him again. The game cuts back, and Batgirl again becomes the focus of the game, and it's like directly intended for her to be the focus because she is in the position that Batman would be in when you load up like a level. Batman's on the left and the partner is on the right every time. In the start of chapter six, Batgirl's on the left, Nightwing, her partner, is on the right. So again, even though Nightwing, everyone knows Nightwing is the clear heir to the throne when it comes to the cowl, they still decided to put Batgirl in that position. And so you go through the first level of chapter six, and when you get to the end, you run into Bane, and then Batman and Catwoman show up. It's supposed to be Batman and Catwoman show up, and we don't get a flashback or anything. There's no explanation to what the hell Bruce was doing, what happened, his recovery, everything. It's not touched at all. And then uh, the gameplay switches, and you play as Batman and Catwoman. It turns out that it's Alfred inside the mech batsuit, and that's you fight Bane with those two. And then after you beat Bane, the game switches back, and you see Batgirl and Dick climbing up I think it's the Wayne Tech Tower. I'm not sure what. I'm thinking like the Wayne Enterprises Tower. I'm not sure exactly, but they're climbing up the tower, and at the top of the tower is actual Bruce. And it's again, we don't know how he got there. We don't know what he was doing. We know Bane broke his back and threw him in the sewers, and then he disappeared. And then he magically appeared. And instead of giving us the answer to those questions, showing us Bruce's recovery and the comeback, they decided that they needed to have another background level. It's like instead of showing us, important stuff about Bruce, you could even bring Talia back and have her be the partner if you needed some female representation or something, or maybe Catwoman is there. Anything else would have been better than another background level, another girl boss level. And so, and then the game ends. You end up fighting Talia. It is Bruce and Nightwing that end up fighting her at least, and she's in the Hellbat costume, which is one of those things like it just kind of shows up in it, and it's like you didn't like okay, you established that like in Dark Knight Rises they had access to the tumblers and stuff, but like they didn't have access to the bat suits. I haven't watched that movie in a long time. It was the best movie, but like I don't recall them having access to all the bat suits. So like, why does she just show up in the Hellbat suit and then? But you continue. You see the fighter, and the fight is fine. That part goes fine, especially because it's Bruce and Dick. Again, you don't see how Bruce got there, which is a big problem. But once that fight is mostly over, but then it ends up inevitably switching back to Batgirl because now Batgirl has to be the super genius that disarms the bomb and actually saves the entire city. Gordon helps her, but I mean, like, she's the one who does it. It's like, again, like Batman should be the one saving the day in the Batman game. And then at the end of it, in the final cutscene, they all end up like getting thrown off the roof. I forget exactly what happens, and again, Batman literally gets saved by Nightwing. It's like Nightwing catches him by the leg. It's like you you couldn't do him the courtesy of having him be the one that saves the anyone. Like he didn't get a chance to save anyone. Like yeah, he won the fight, but like the person who saved the day was Batgirl. The person who saved him was fucking Nightwing. Like So yeah, like I said, some very big glaring issues. Like I don't want to give this game lower than a 7 because it's very fun to play. It is very fun to play. The controls are amazing. The combat is very good. The Lego puzzles are still there. I haven't done all the Riddler and Clue Masters in this one as well. I haven't done all of those puzzles yet. I don't know if I'm going to be honest, probably won't. But it's still a very fun game. That's why I give it a 7 out of 10 because the music, graphics, controls, you know, the first half of the game, amazing. It's a major letdown at the end.